This fuel filter came from my local dealership, and this one came from Amazon. Both come in white boxes, but we're going to go ahead and compare the two because this one came from an actual GM dealership, whereas this one came from Amazon GM parts store. So you want to be careful when you're buying parts off of Amazon because it needs to come from an actual GM dealership, or in this case, the GM parts store. So what I have here is, like I said, this one came from my dealership, and you can see the holographic sticker on there. We know this one is going to be a good, authentic fuel filter, and you could expect to pay roughly $50 for these in person at a dealership, depending on how they sell it to you. Obviously, your account status will vary with how much you purchase through them. So what we have is the fuel filter assembly. We're going to take a closer look at this in just a second, but let's go over the O-rings. Here are the O-rings from an OEM fuel filter. And you can see the high quality O-rings in there with a little bag that has a little guy on there that says to throw it in the trash or recycle. Do either or, preferably recycle, save the environment. Now you can see this part number 1353-9107. That does not match the box. So there must have been a part number change, but the fuel filters did not see it. So don't be afraid if you see a difference in the fuel filter part numbers. You can see made in Czech Republic right here. Man and Hummel filter. Now I'm describing all this in detail because I do have a video that shows that you could buy some knockoffs off of Amazon and they look very similar. Now I definitely recommend you take a look at that because basically what it comes down to is this needs to be a high quality. This is your water and fuel separator right there. So that's super important that that's good and solid and not going to leak. But that's where I worry about the cheap aftermarket knockoffs. But anyway, in that video I show that it may look the same, but it's not. And I show you the differences in that. But we're going to stick with just this because this came from GM Parts Store. So I assume that this is 100% OEM. And we're going to compare that to this one that I got from my local dealership. So let's go ahead and pull that out. And you can see the box. Both boxes have the holographic. If you get a filter without a holographic on it, I would be a little bit concerned because you may have a knockoff, but this you could tell. It's got the holographic sticker. The part numbers match. Everything's the same on that. Like I said, that came from the dealership. This came from Amazon itself. And now be careful when you're buying from different sellers. You need to make sure that you're buying it from the GM parts store because that's where I got mine. And that's how we know that this is authentic. So opening the boxes are actually exact same, I believe. All right, so we're looking good on there. We're gonna pull out the O-rings first, and you can see it's got the little trash man recycle guy. Very similar here. It's a little bit different though. So now we're gonna pull the filter out, and we can see both of them have that different part number. 1353-9107, both say Man and Hummel on them. Both say GM as well as made in Czech Republic. Now, there is one difference on this filter that I noticed because I cheated, I already looked at it. But the underside, there's a little bit of a difference there. So, might be from different manufacturing times. I don't believe that they have multiple plants at Man and Hummel that they're doing these out of, but they may. So, that's about the only difference that I saw on these is, again, this is the Amazon one. This is the OEM GM dealer one. You can see the dots. Just compare your fuel filter to this. Don't do any knockoffs that may actually hurt your fuel system. But I don't have a problem with buying off of Amazon. I don't think anybody else should, as long as you're getting a genuine product. Now, I know a lot of people say, well, I've run the aftermarket knockoff ones and I'm perfectly fine. And that's fantastic because if you want to take that risk, then by all means, that's okay. But this one, price-wise, about $25 to $35, depending on what kind of sales Amazon has going on there. Now, I will post up on my channel when there are sales, so definitely keep on the lookout for that. And like I said, this should run you about $45-50 from the dealership. Now, buying straight from the dealership, it gives you the peace of mind. There's nothing wrong with that. Build a relationship with your local dealership. It's only going to be more beneficial to you in the long run. Now, I have in the background aluminum fuel filter housing back here. That is optional. A lot of people like to go with that. And then you do need to torque these down because if you over tighten them, the stock housing is plastic and you could break it or get it stuck and you don't want that. But these are super cool. This is from Click Wrench, made in USA. Now those will torque down to the exact specifications that you need, which is 18.4 foot-pounds. I highly recommend those. You could just get a regular 36 millimeter socket if you wanted. All this stuff, links are down in the description. But definitely let me know what you think about this. Is this helpful? Should we do more of these? I need to know your comments. Till next time, see ya.